This kneeling side plank position is to do two things. First of all, we want to kind of strengthen the ability to stay rigid where the resistance is coming from a frontal plane. So instead of it being sagittal where you're trying to move through basically a forward walking or a squat or a deadlift motion, the resistance is now coming from the side. So you have to technically support yourself by pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. So this is a very effective movement for helping you stay stable in the sagittal plane, which basically means stay in one place while doing any squats or deadlifts, which means it's a very effective movement as a primer, especially if you find that you sway from side to side when doing any of the compound lifts. What we're looking to do here is maintain a spinal alignment again. So we want the head to be directly over the thoracic, and we want to tuck the hips and make sure we have the pelvis parallel to the rib cage. The elbow is directly underneath the shoulder, and the shoulder, as you can see what I've done with my hand here, is centrated, which basically means pushing the shoulder blade down in towards the spine. So you don't want your shoulder blade riding too high up where you just feel it all in the anterior shoulder and the traps. You want to have your knee comfortably placed into the ground on a mat. You don't want to be doing this on a hard surface as it would be uncomfortable. You want to tuck the hips so they're forward, and again maintaining that parallel structure. And then we're going to inhale in through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Now, one thing you may have noticed here is that I have externally rotated my knee, and the reason why I've done this is that it creates more of a challenge to the glutes and is helping you recreate that kind of squat position with the hips. If you had your knee further forward, so that it's down on the resting on this knee here, you would be very inclined for this hip here to rotate forward. So if you think about it, my right knee would want to, and my right hip would want to fall forward, and this defeats the purpose of the object, because the idea here is we're challenging this glute and the outside glutes on this left leg to be able to keep the hips in one's position whilst we're maintaining spinal stability and breathing. Again, we want to really breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, trying to get that tight vacuum around 360 degrees around the spine, maintaining as much rigidity as possible. You may want to do 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other, but one thing that I would recommend is to do breaths. So you want to breathe in and breathe out, 5 per side, or perhaps spending more time on the side where you find weakest. Do not be surprised if you find one side very easy and one side a lot more challenging.